All right, all right. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mia Hall. I am the host of the Brown Girls Glow live show. And today we have a special series we are naming Lights, Camera, Legacy. I'm so excited to have one of my great friends here, Bianca Peart. Woo! Give it up for her.
Yay!
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mia.
Of course, of course. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm super excited to have you. And I just want to read a little bit about Bianca before she comes up. Of course, I can talk about her from personal experience because we met now over 10 years ago. So that had to be 2012. I think it was like right at the beginning of the season, right?
Yes,
Of the
when
Nets.
Brooklyn Nets, yeah, moved to Brooklyn
20
from New Jersey, 2012.
2012. Okay. Well, I'm going to just share a little bit about Bianca before she comes up. And of course, just to tell you and let you know that this show, Brown Girls Go Live, features career women that help young women to fulfill their biggest dreams and make their dreams become a reality. I went from the hood to Harvard, and I look forward to helping young girls to do the same or help their biggest dreams come to life. So that's why I have Bianca here. Bianca Peart is a sports journalist and host with over 10 years of experience covering major leagues and sporting events. Most recently, she's covered the US Open, New York Giants pregame experience at MetLife Stage, Long Island Nets basketball, and professional pickleball tours. She's also hosted MSG Network's show Checking In with the Knicks, presented by Coinbase. Bianca brings a unique perspective at the intersection of sports, education, and empowerment. Bianca is the producer and host of the Bold and Brilliant Life podcast, where she speaks with athletes and sports professionals about their journey. She's also the founder of Bold and Brilliant Life, an organization where she helps youth instill confidence in life. She visits schools and youth camps to speak to students about the power of listening to the quiet whispers and owning their voice. Please again give a warm welcome to Miss Bianca Peart.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, and I
Of
love
course.
seeing you doing this. I've known you, like you said, for over 10 years, and just what you're doing for the community and have always done for the community. That's one thing. I think that's why I'm so attached to you because you have that heart purpose where it's all about giving back to the youth.
Well, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you, and I feel the same way about you. So yeah. So we just want to know if someone was to ask. I know we read the bio, but behind the bio, and beyond the bold and brilliant life, who is Bianca Peart?
I am an only child who overthinks a lot and cares a lot about people and things. And I just love seeing the human side of people. That's what it comes down to. Like, I just feel like we're all have an inner child in us that as we grow older, for some reason we get lost in it. So I'm all about like, hey, let's keep it real, let's engage and like how are you? How are you really? Not like surface level. So for me, I just care and I think that's what's hard for me because I care so much. I want to go deep with people. So like I kind of avoid people because I know myself. Like I don't want to engage in conversations because I'm so committed. I would like want to, really be committed and stay in touch. So I guess an empath. I don't know what that is, but that's just me.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So, speaking about, we are speaking to young girls, right? And even in my book, Glow Girl, which, of course I will highlight, today is the last day of a series that I was going through. And in this series, we're just going through every chapter. And this chapter was about winning and being ready for change. So, what's one way that you feel like there was a big change in your life that, you know, maybe you weren't ready for, maybe you were ready for, but it really helped to shape who you are today. So a change that might have happened to you, it could have been in high school, if you want to pinpoint, a certain point, but if you have one that's later in your career, or maybe earlier, let us know a change in your life that really changed the trajectory of and helped you to be where you are today.
So for me, I think two things come to mind. One was a change more so I think the changes were kind of influenced by my mother in a loving way. And I'll stick with one. I think the biggest change for me is when I went to college. I grew up in Pennsylvania outside of Philly. I went to Penn State as in undergrad. And once I graduated, I moved to New York City because I was guaranteed a full-time position. I was super excited. Um, and I was temping at the time, and they had a hiring freeze, so um, they weren't able to put me on full time. And I was devastated because I literally just signed a lease
Mm,
to an apartment.
mm.
And I called my mom, and mind you, I am an only child. I love my mama. She's Jamaican. Shout out to her West Indian. And she did a wonderful job raising me. Like she made sure I had the best life ever, right? I was very fortunate to have a mother like her. So I called her. I was like, "Oh my gosh, mom, I just grabbed the keys to the apartment and now I don't have a
Oh,
lease. What am I
oh.
gonna do?" And I was expecting my mother to say, "Hey, all right, just come back home to Pennsylvania. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out." But this was the most, and as a parent and even as a kid, like this was the most transformative change. She was like, "Don't
Mm,
worry about it, B. Just keep forward with the apartment. Like, we'll figure it out." I was like,
mm.
"What?" I just grabbed
Like, no,
college.
you're supposed to say.
I'm Yes, like, this is our young adulthood. We're learning how to live, be an adult, and I thought everything was going to plan A and it didn't.
Mm,
So I do, and also working on my spirituality, and I do
mhm,
believe in like the higher power and alignment. So
mhm,
while I was on the train, the New
mm.
York City subway system on the train, shout out to people who are in marketing. I just happened to look up. I was on the train. I felt defeated. I was like, oh my gosh, my mom told me to stay in New York. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm getting money. Where am I going? I don't even know New York. New York feels dirty. I'm from the suburbs. I don't know. All And I look up, and there's a white ad on the train at the top of the train, very minimal text in black letters. We're
Mm.
moving to Brooklyn with the basketball. And that's when the
Wow.
Brooklyn Nets moved from New Jersey. They transitioned from New Jersey to Brooklyn,
Mhm,
and they started transition the franchise to Brooklyn, New York. I was like, oh, wait, I used to play sports growing up. While I was at Penn State, I interned with the basketball team, didn't think anything of it. It's like, let me just apply and see if they have anything on their website. So I applied, or I went on their website. They had a position for a game night staff where we help
mhm.
with all the fan engagement elements. I applied thinking nothing of it. And come to find out, I get a call back and I get the job. And the hiring manager, shout out to TJ,
Yes,
TJ.
TJ LaRoche, right? Or yeah.
Yeah, TJ Roche, the DJ.
TJ Roche,
He's
right.
like,
I'm talking about
yes,
LaRoche.
and this is why it's so important to, do what you're passionate about and do what you love and do it well, because he was like, "Oh, wow, I see you went to Penn State and you worked with Guido. I work with Guido at Rutgers. Like, oh, this is amazing.
Wow.
You're great. Like, yeah, come work for the team." I was like, "What?" So that and me being on the train and me being defeated is where something beautiful came out. And that was my real, I've always kind of worked in sports, but that was like my big entry point into sports, where I'm still working with the Brooklyn Nets 14 seasons later in that game night staff.
Wow.
But that has led me to other wheelhouses where I did reporting and learned journalism, and then went to Columbia to get my graduate degree in journalism. And it
Come
led
on,
to me
somebody.
And it just led to all this media world that I did not even really anticipate getting into. So I think that is one of the biggest changes, the most pivotal changes that like has allowed me to be where I am today.
Come on now. I gotta give a hand clap for that, man. And that's how we met. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely
Yes,
grateful for you having that experience because, that's how we met. Whoa. Congratulations. Shout
yeah,
out to you. First of all, you know what I mean, for what you did at Penn State, then boom, going on to the Ivy League, one of the top, if not, I think it's the top journalism school in the nation.
yeah,
So, you know what I mean?
yes,
So, shout out to you for that and for, not telling your mom, wait, you really supposed to invite me to come back home, you know what I mean? So that I could
right,
just,
right.
you know what I mean, like work and figure it out. Your mom was like, nope, it's gonna be okay. You got to be out here and look what happened. You saw the adversity. You were like, okay, I thought it was going to be one thing, it's not. Let me apply for this job, and look at that, you apply for it and got it in 14 seasons later
Yes,
at the
it's been a
Brooklyn Nets,
blessing.
man.
Yes,
Amen,
and
amen.
yeah.
I love that, I love that. Okay, okay, so man, so okay, so you got that job with the Nets. And I want to take it back just to talk a little bit about your high school experience, since I love, just seeing, how people's high school experiences as well, you know what I mean, contributed to or, shape where they are. How was high school for you, and what kind of impact do you think it had on you, even being able to apply and making a decision to stay? Like, what was your high school experience like?
High school for me was,
Like changing.
uh yeah, high school for me felt, I guess, pretty normal in a sense. It was normal is actually very relative. I shouldn't say normal. For me, high school was just a great experience. It was overall positive. I went to a large high school in the suburbs outside of Philadelphia. I was very active. So I played tennis, basketball, and softball. So I was on like the varsity teams, and then I did competitive cheerleading on top of that. So I was
Oh, wow.
traveling, and I was also playing AAU basketball. So I
Oh,
was very
wow.
active like during high school. And then high school itself, the curriculum was, it was good, it was smooth. Like one thing I find interesting is that I had to push myself to be in the honors classes. Like I was like, "Oh, my friend is in the honors classes. I want to be in it too." And there were some times where teachers like, "Oh, I don't know." But then there was this one teacher, Mr. Ricky, love
Nice.
him to death. He's
Love
amazing.
it.
He was the football coach. He's like a standout guy. He, he basically kind of mentored me. He just saw something in me, and he actually and I think this is what kind of like high school, when you find that teacher or that counselor, that support, like really lean into them because they really care. They
Okay.
want to see you grow. I remember my senior year, I think I had like maybe a few electives open or something, and he teaches public speaking. He forced me to do public speaking. I did
I
not
love
want
it.
to,
Uh,
but for some reason, like, he just encouraged it. He taught public speaking. He was an English teacher, and I did it, and it was fun. It was great, but he was just always there pushing me and making sure, I was the best I could be. And for me, I went to a high school where I was probably one there was probably 0.5% of Black people.
oh,
So,
wow. Not half a percent.
yeah, it was a very white school, and
Mhm.
because I grew up in that environment, I guess I never really saw it as like a challenge. It's when I went to Penn State, ironically, where I was like, oh my gosh, I never saw so many Black people in my life.
Oh,
Meanwhile, Penn
wow.
State is a predominantly white university.
Right.
So it was very interesting. Like, your environment really makes you, like, you don't really know what you have until you don't see or you experience different places. So
Absolutely.
for me, I didn't like I kind of I think because I played sports too, which is probably, I don't know if that's even a good thing. Like, people were receptive of me. They thought I was cool. Like, I never
Okay.
felt like I was an othered person.
Mm.
And I think that's why, because I was around a lot of smart white kids, I was like, I want to be in the classes. So it pushed me in a sense to just like be I was just so naive, and I was just
Mm.
playing sports and did well in school, and it was a positive experience.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I love that you took the initiative, you know what I mean? Like to say, okay, like I want to do better, or I know that the people in these honors class, they're having a level of curriculum that is probably more challenging than, maybe the traditional classes. So look, like who is going to
Yeah.
help me to be able to get into these honors classes so that, I can get into this more rigorous academic environment. I love that. I love that. But I'm not surprised. Like I'm impressed, but I'm not surprised because that's you. Like I've seen that in you, since we've met. So
Yeah. It was an interesting experience, and, speaking of, like, colleges, I live probably 15 minutes from Cheyney University. I believe
okay.
that's the first HBCU. It's
Right.
obviously an HBCU, it's one of, like, the first.
Mm.
But I had no idea, I didn't know about HBCUs, I didn't know anything until I went to college. So,
Wow.
like,
Wow.
that is so looking back, sometimes I'm like, "Oh, I wish I went to an HBCU or I knew more about it." But yeah, that was the environment I was in. I was a first generation student again, like my family's
Mm.
from Jamaica, so they know, but they don't really know.
Mhm.
So I just worked with what was around my environment. A lot of people went to Penn State. And to answer your first question, this is another change that I guess another decision that changed my life.
Mhm.
I was good at sports, but basketball I think was like the main thing. My parents took me around and try to get scholarships at like D2, D3 schools.
Mm.
And there was a point where my mom was like, you need to focus on your education. So
Yeah.
that's
Aw.
typical, right? So, I did forego, scholarships at, like, the D2, D3 level so that I could focus on my education at Penn State, the main campus. So that
Mhm.
is a change. I don't know if that's for the better or for the worse, but I know
Mhm.
that was a change that was very impactful because my mind was all basketball, like, "Let me just
Wow.
play, get a scholarship, like, try not to pay for college." So, that I don't know how that shook out into my life, but I find it
Right.
interesting back into the basketball circuit. So, yeah.
Yes. Yes, I love that. Especially, of course, women in sports. Shout out to all of my women in sports. Shout out to all the, black and brown women in sports. It's a small amount of women in sports, and then there's even less black and brown women in sports. So, shout out to all of y'all, and all of us. But yes, I love that because it came full circle. You know what I mean? Though, and that's some advice, a piece of advice for any girls that are watching that maybe you won't be playing on the court, but you can do amazing things in the business of sports. You can do amazing things beyond the court. You see, Bianca was there 14 seasons. Which WNBA player, NBA player is even with the team for 14 seasons? You know what I mean? You can't even say that as an athlete. So you're spending a longer time in sports than you would likely, sometimes as an athlete. So yeah, so congratulations to you on that. Yeah, just certainly I never knew that. I love when I'm friends with people for like 14 years and just
Right?
learning new things about them. But yeah, because I feel like I had hoop dreams, but they
Mhm.
didn't come to fruition, on the court. I wasn't
Exactly.
as good. My mother didn't have to tell me the team that I didn't make when I got to D1 Hampton University. I didn't even look for scholarship. I was just like, oh yeah, I want to go to Hampton, which I also didn't know about HBCUs until like my senior year of college. Like I saw school days,
Okay,
I
okay.
saw like a different world, but I never knew anybody that was like a real person, like these are fictional characters. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, it's great that y'all
Yeah.
went, and I knew that my mom went to Morgan State, but she had me at 18. So she had to go back home. She stayed there like 6 months. So I didn't really know about HBCUs and culture and all that stuff, until my senior year in college and I mean in high school. And then that's when I started to learn about them. I had people that at my workplaces, like 5 people that I worked with went to Hampton. And so that's the first time I even like heard about Hampton and stuff like that. Then I went on a college tour. And so that's what like really helped me. But this was all, you know what I'm saying? Like on the back end, like I
Yeah.
said, senior year, like first generation college student. You know what I mean? Like same thing. So I'm like, look at me, man. This is how we clicked. So yeah. So thank you for sharing that because I think that students definitely will be able to learn from that and grow from that and be ready for change with that. Okay, man, this is exciting. Okay, so a couple more. So contentment versus satisfaction, right?
Mhm.
How do you deal with that? Because I had a young woman ask me one day, like, I have a lot of things that I want to do, but I know I want to be like, grateful for what I have. How does that come up, in your life? Because this is something that a young woman asked me. So, I put it in the book, but I want to know from your perspective, how do you deal with contentment versus satisfaction when it comes to your goals?
That is, shout out to the young girl who asked, inquired about that, because that is so real. It is so, so, so real. And it's challenging for me to deal with because life is about perspective. We all have our own situation. So, like, yes, we have, again, like for high school, I was in a predominantly white high school. Academic rigor was high. I was in an environment, and anyone could, from the outside looking in, was like, "Oh, you're fine. You're at a great school." Da, da, da. But it's like, no, but I want more.
Mhm.
And to be quite honest, that's really why I've been working on my spiritual path to
Okay,
lean
yeah.
in gratitude. Like, what is gratitude? Digging deep on that. And like,
Mm,
we need to be content and happy for all the things that we have and express gratitude. And with that, allow that to push, like, allow, just keep that as your north star, your guiding point. Like, I wish I could, I don't know how to like say what I'm trying to say,
mhm,
but we all have goals. It's
mhm,
human nature to want more. It's human nature, but we can't be greedy about it. So,
mhm,
like, for me, it's like distinguishing greed from gratitude. So if I'm like,
mm,
"Oh, I want more, I want this," sit back and be like, "Bianca, are you trying to be greedy right now? Or are you expressing this out of gratitude and perspective?"
mm,
So for me, like, that's how I look at it. Like, don't be greedy, be grateful. And
mm,
from there, write down your goals and write down like what it is you want, because we all want things, but we have to work. We have to put
mhm.
in the work. So again, like, that's where that greed and like the ignorance and the ego and the pride, it's like, oh, you want this, but what are you doing to get that? And I believe everything happens for a reason when it's supposed to happen. And as long as you're putting in the work and doing it with gratitude and doing it from a space of love and like care, what will happen will happen. And that's what
Absolutely.
I'm so grateful that that's what has happened for me.
I
I
love it.
can give you a quick story as an
Yeah,
MC and a
absolutely.
host at live sporting events. That is a very coveted position. You don't see many people on the microphone at a sporting event hyping up the
No,
crowd. It
no.
is hard. And when you're in that position, like, it's hard to leave. You're gonna see that same face. So for me, I'm like, I want to host, I want to do this, I want to do this with this organization. This, how did this person get this, but I didn't get this gig. Like, there was a moment that I was all over I was complaining.
Mm,
And that's when I had to step back and be like, Bianca, you need to be grateful. You're in these spaces, like, you have these skills. Like, why don't you look at your own toolkit, look within and see how you can build from there? And then, like, allow things to happen when they happen. And literally, the moment I surrendered, that's when everything came together. It was 2022. That's when I got
wow.
that contract with MSG Networks to do Checking In with the Knicks. Then I did
Wow.
March Madness that year. Then I did a basketball tournament that year. When it rained, it poured. That's when I started doing a few games with the Long Island Nets. And it's like, da, 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 da. So for me, I had
Wow.
to surrender and stop looking at that noise and look within and be grateful and work on my craft. And if by God's grace, if it works, it works. And I'm so grateful. So that is where my journey has led me.
Wow, I love that story. Amen to that because yeah, like because you can really get caught up like you said in like being greedy and like and also like wearing yourself out, right? Um
Yes.
and burning yourself out, right? And then that's how we get into the depression and you know what I mean like and yeah, just I mean getting on our own, being bad to ourselves, and not taking care of ourselves. So you have to do that. And you see, if you do that, you see what happened to Bianca. She said that's when the floodgates open. Okay. And she was just been booked and busy ever since. So I
And
absolutely
it's
love that.
It's a mindset thing. This is internal work. Like I'm over here, it's about what you eat. Sorry, I'm plugging myself. I
Go
make
ahead.
juices.
No, please use it as a plug. I want this to be a platform for the plugs. Okay.
It's I don't have my stickers on here, but it's called Plants, Fruits, Vibes, Organic Juices. So this is beets, red beets and pineapple, and this is fresh apple juice. It's so good. I have so
Ooh.
many different flavors, but I say this to say everything is interrelated. I
Mm,
had to eat better. I was
mm-hmm.
eating all the junk food, doing all the wrong, sleeping late, even drinking.
Mm,
I don't even drink alcohol anymore, like maybe very special occasions. But I noticed what I was putting into my body was messing up my frequency and energy. And
mm,
energy is so real. So if you're desperate trying to reach a goal, if you're trying to do all this, people can feel that. There's an
mm-hmm.
energy. Like we all operate off of a frequency. People can feel. You ever look, oh, my spirit said, oh, walk to the left side, don't walk to the right. Like our bodies carry so much and it's our temple. So that's why it's important to treat our body right. So you got to sleep, get those hours in as best as you can, even though we're juggling a lot. Drink natural juices. Be more conscious with your eating. I'm not telling you need to change your whole diet, but just
Mm-hmm.
be more mindful of what you're eating. And I love me my Chick-fil-A, but I had to put it down. I love it
Mm.
so much, you don't understand. 'Cause I started paying, I get like the food. So for me, food makes me emotional. Food makes me crazy, and there's
Mm,
chemicals in food. So I noticed when I was eating certain things, I was like, "Ugh," I was acting crazy. So
mm,
now I'm like, all right, if I eat a salad or if I eat certain foods, whole foods, plant-based foods, it's just my body operates better. And I'm gonna take another step. Ladies, I
okay.
know some of y'all very young. You should not be drinking at all, let
Uh,
alone under 21.
right.
But there's a reason why it's called wine and spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Spirits, alcohol. It puts the spirits in you and it's not good for you. It's literally
Mm-hmm.
poison to the body. So for me personally, I had to do a lot of inner work with what I was eating, what I was consuming, what I was watching. I couldn't watch all those blogging shows, the reality shows. I had to like really strip myself back and quiet the noise.
Mm.
That's what led to that 2022. And again, that was also during the pandemic too.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's what led to that like domino effect of me. I need to rewire my whole self.
I love that. I love that. And you were able to do that because you weren't like, okay, I'm just gonna go, go, go. I have to go up these goals. I'm not content. You know what I mean? I'm not satisfied. Da, da, da,
Mm,
da. So okay, I love that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for answering that for sure. And so I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do want to speak about, just any advice because you have done a lot in your life. And just really quickly, I keep on saying that me and Bianca met 12 years ago, but just to tell the story really quickly, um you know we had an event. We were promoting the Brooklyn Nets coming, I mean, the New Jersey Nets coming to Brooklyn. And I just remember meeting Bianca at this event that she was working at. And it was like my first community event, I believe, like as community manager. And we, stayed all day, just kind of like out there in the community. And then basically the rest is history. Like it was just literally an event before the opening, and then, by the time the arena opened, we were like in there the first season, like ready to go. And, Bianca, has been a friend, of course, there at work, but, outside of the work, she was an accountability partner, which I thank her for so much. Somebody that I was able to share my goals with. And we were able to travel together to NBA
yeah,
All Star Weekend in Houston. I think that was like 2014. And
yeah,
we were sitting courtside with Kobe Bryant,
yes. Ike
Kobe Bryant, Kevin Hart, just like everybody that was anybody.
Neo.
Neo. Yeah, yes, yes.
Because we gave him lotion. I think his hands were ashy. So
Yes, and Neo, yep. That was that first year. And then right, you said, yeah, 2015 it came to Barclays Center. So we were definitely kind of pretty much involved with that because it came to Barclays Center in 2015. And then even 2016, you were in Toronto.
yeah,
You
Toronto All
came to
Star Weekend.
Toronto. And then 2017, New Orleans, you went to New Orleans.
Yes, and then
And then
LA.
2018, we did an event. We had
And
networking beats together. So Bianca
yeah,
and I have worked on events outside of it. So also our friend Tiamati and our friends
yay.
Selena and unfortunately Jamel who passed away. That's me and Bianca's friend. But yeah, but he passed away last year and his heart is still with us. So shout
We
out to
love
the
you.
Lynch family. But yeah, we started networking beats and we started it in New York. It was a networking event for like young professionals in the city. And,
Yeah,
yeah, we were rocking out. We had two events in New York, a coat drive, thanks to Jamel at
yes,
4040
the 40
Club.
40 Club,
And then
yes.
2018 All Star, we had an event in LA. So yeah,
Mhm.
so that was good stuff. So yeah, so that's just a little backstory. I mean, it's more, but that's a little backstory of me and Bianca. But yes, but I was going to ask about, yes, your advice for young people that want to become a host and want to get these hard positions. I mean, you've traveled with pretty much every league. I mean, covering the U.S.
Yeah.
Open. I mean, like, do you have any advice for these young women that want to fulfill their biggest dreams?
Leverage social media. That's
Mm.
what personally helped me get a lot of these opportunities.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yes, I will slide in a DM and be like, "Hey, do you need a host for this?" I'll even do it in the comments. "Hey, I would love to host this event." Someone on TikTok found me through to do a pickleball event. That's how I started with the Pickleball Association and did tours with the PPA tour, the biggest official pickleball tour. So
Wow.
yes, leverage social media. So
Love that.
post your work, reach out to people about your work, but don't don't be shy. Like, lean into what you have. I think the most underutilized tools are the youth. Go to middle school, cover the middle school, cover high school, because that's where you're going to get your reps in. That's where you can easily get access. It's easier to get access at those levels. And that's how you build those relationships, because you're going to meet these players when they're younger. And then as they get older, they trust you, they want to work with you. So I think you just really lean into what you have right in front of your hands. So that's your phone. So if you're in high school, ask your high school administrators, like, "Hey, can I cover this game or can I host this?" Or like pitch ideas. Middle school, your local community, like that is my personal advice. And just create your own work. Like, that's why I'm building Bold and Brilliant Life, because I was waiting for a big agency to hire me or a big agency to sign me. But it's like, I would love that. However, in the meantime, I'm going to build my own portfolio and do it in a bigger way where I'm able to impact others and impact the youth, which is really where my heart resides.
I love that. I love that. You can't wait on a producer. You must produce yourself. I always a
Woo.
very very big proponent of that. So and you did that. I mean, that's what you did. You're doing it. You get booked, you get hired, and you also don't just wait for it. You reach out to people via DM. You reach out to people in the comments. Like you're like, listen, I am literally living a bold and brilliant life. So
Yeah.
can you just tell us more about, why well, I know that's one reason why you started the show, but what do you want people to get out of the show, which you all could catch on YouTube. Bianca give them all the information as well.
Yes. And before I do that, I want to quickly say, like, I mean that advice, because I do not have any management. I do not have a manager. I do not work with a talent agency. So people are like, "What?" Like, no, I'm building relationships. I'm reaching out. So you can do this. If I'm able to manage all this, without management, like, I'm very confident you're able to create your own path as well.
I love
So
that.
that's also why I created Bold and Brilliant Life. One, to like help pour into the youth, give them advice, give them feedback, but two, to share people's stories. You, Mia, we've been in this industry for 12 plus years. Like, we know so many incredible people, women who work behind the scenes, women who are making sports move, who have impact. Like, their stories need to be heard. We talked about this earlier. You can work in sports without being an professional athlete in that setting.
Hmm.
We're always focused, obviously the athletes, they're like, that's who things are built around, everything's centered around the athletes. But there are a lot of arms there that bring this community together. So Yes, I interview athletes on my show, but I also interview sports professionals. So I have a professional photographer, Dominique Damio. Shout out to her. She does photography for the WNBA, like all those iconic All-Star Weekend pictures. She's snapping those photos.
Love it.
I've interviewed, yes. I interviewed Chrissia Long. She's the senior director of entertainment for the Brooklyn Nets, Long Island Nets, and the New York Liberty. She's the reason why Ellie the elephant is an icon. She's the one who literally,
Iconic.
she's the one who goes to the hair store, picks the hair, and braids Ellie's hair for every single game. Like, there are amazing women. She does well, way more than that, but she has such a visionary. Like, there are
Mhm.
so many incredible women behind the scenes. So that's what Bold and Brilliant Life is about, to hear about their journeys and what steps they took to be where they are today. Because we all have a story. Athletes are amazing, and humans are amazing too. We should all be placed in a space where we can be seen and heard. So I'm very passionate about that. And I'm a voice for the voiceless. I want people to feel seen. And again, going back to that inner child, like we all have that inner child. And I want us to find that child and show love to that child. And through Bold and Brilliant Life, if our guests, they share more about that.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. And where can people watch Bold and Brilliant Life?
Yes, so you can go on YouTube and watch it there, Bold and Brilliant Life. It's on my YouTube channel, Bianca Peart, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. So Spotify, Apple, iHeart, all the places. Bold and Brilliant Life with Bianca Peart.
All right.
And the
Awesome.
episode, the episode is coming out on Friday. I know we're live right now.
Okay.
With
Yeah.
Anita.
So y'all catch it this
Yes,
Friday, March. What is
yes,
that?
this
The
the
13th?
13th,
Friday
Friday
the
the
13th?
13th. With Anavia Battle. She's an Olympic sprinter. She's number one in the world in 200 meters. She's a young star, amazing human being. So Anavia Battle, the interviews with her, and you get to hear more about her journey and all the amazing work that she puts in to be the number one sprinter.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely. Okay. And then, I just want to say, I know that, we've spoken about it in the past. You have a lot of you wear a lot of hats, right? But, you do this and, you keep a 9 to 5 in order to fund your passion. So I just want you to speak about that real quick. Like, me, I don't have a 9 to 5 anymore. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I can go back to that. You know what I mean? Like, and I want to, but, right now that's just not, where I am. But, can you just speak to, people that, like, man, I want to quit my job. But, listen, you're like, listen, let me keep this until, I get my big break. Can you just speak to that?
Yes, for me, stability is keeps me sane. As much as I would love to have one or the other, I'm juggling two right now. But yes, I've been working a 9 to 5 ever since college, and it funds my passions. But it's also the work that I do at that job is very fulfilling. So like it's really tough because I love that work. I work in education where I help high school students earn college level credit. It's been I've impacted hundreds of thousands of students around the world globally so that they can save tuition on their save money in college while earning college credit. So it's just joy. It rings to my heart, especially as a first generation student where I didn't know the
Mm.
power and resources that were out there that I wish I had. So I do love that work. And something has to give. And I think this is where I'm in that space. Like, if something pushes me one way, I will have to make that decision. But I am blessed and grateful to be able to balance it. And I would love to be bold and be like, yeah, I'm going to quit my job and pursue this full fledged. And I actually probably could, but I'm just not there yet. That's just the
Yeah, and
reality.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Listen, that's okay. Wait, this is called Lights, Camera, Legacy, and you're building a legacy, on both ends. Like you said, it's not like the work that you're doing over there is, not impactful. You're not, you know what I mean? Like you're doing purposeful work over there and purposeful work over here. So I just wanted you to share that because I know that, it might look like this is easy, but this is not. Okay. Just know that she is putting in work. Like, you know,
That's why I'm drinking juices and eating. Like, you have to take care of your body, seriously, because something's going to compromise. Like there something's going to compromise at some point. So you have to prioritize, like, am I going to get sleep? Am I get this project done, or am I get work done? So there's always that battle, and that's why I enjoy weekends so that I can catch up and get my rest. And when I have my down moments, I have my down moments. But I make it work, and I'm very grateful, and I'm excited for the future to see where it builds. And ladies, you have to do what's right for you, because so many times I'm like getting advice, oh, you should quit your job. Oh, why are you doing this? You already have a job. You have to, again, listen, quiet the noise and listen to your heart.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Well, I really appreciate your time. Something that I always ask, our guests before they leave is, one word or sentence, that you would say to your 16-year-old self or to your teenage self.
First word that comes to mind is believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to believe in yourself, because more like you have to believe in yourself, period. Because nothing's going to work if you're not working. People can
Mm.
cheer you on. Again, you can have mentors and coaches and be like, they believe in you, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to. So if my younger self, um, I would just say, believe in yourself, be bold, ask to be in those honors classes, ask to go on this project, or pitch yourself to the sports department and tell them you want to create a role that doesn't exist. Like, you have to believe in yourself, because no one else is going to do it better than you, because you are the engine who moves.
Yes, yes, I love it. Young B, I hope you're listening. So, yes, thank you so much. Please let people know where they can follow you. I know that you already told them about where they can find Bold and Brilliant Life, but let them know where they can follow you, and how, the Brown Girls Glow Live community can support you.
Yeah, so Browns Girls Glow. You guys can follow me on all the social media. My personal social media is Bianca Peart. So BIANCA PEART, Bianca Peart. I'm on Instagram, Threads, YouTube, all the tubes. Um, and yeah, my website, biancapeart.com. You can reach out to me there. DM me, email me if you do have any questions. And then also boldandbrilliant.org. That's where the foundation is. That's it's starting. It's newer ish. We also have merch that's going to be up very soon. So if you want to support the Bold and Brilliant Life movement, you can get merch there. And those are the main areas you can find me.
Awesome.
Or
I
at a
love.
sporting event. And at a sporting event, if you're going to the US Open this summer, I'll be there at the courts.
Yes.
Yes, somewhere at a sporting event.
Yes, yes. And the Long Island Nets, is the season ended?
Yes, it's practically over now. Playoffs are around the corner, so it depends on where things shake out. So, yeah.
Mm. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, listen, congratulations again on everything, Bianca. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And thank you for the Bold and Brilliant merch. If y'all look at about 2 episodes behind, I had on my Bold and Brilliant shirt. I didn't bring it to New York with me, but I did wear it on the show before, and I'll be wearing it again. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to
Yeah.
support. And I gotta get my juice. You know what I mean? So yes.
Plants, Fruits, Vibes. Instagram page, Plants, Fruits, Vibes. We do custom juices. So we're in
Mm.
the New York City area. We deliver, and you can make preferences. We do pop ups. So Plants, Fruits, Vibes.
I love it.
This
Plants, fruits, vibes. You know the vibes. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much, Queen B. That's what I call her, Queen B. Anything else you want to say before we, what I'm saying, wrap this up? Of course, this doesn't have to be the last time you're on, but I'm just saying in case you want to tell the people something.
I would love to come back. I love the girls. I
Yes.
would,
Okay, cool.
it would be an honor. It would definitely be an honor. I think, you know what you want to do. You know what's in you. Just listen to yourself. Again, going back, believe in yourself. That outside noise is real. You want to do what everyone else is doing, or you see this, you may want to do this, or like you have 8 million ideas at the same time. Remember, I don't know if you remember, like I want to do my nail company. I had all the things. Which is fine.
Yeah.
But just lean into you and what you want to do. You don't need to rely on Chat GPT. You
Mm-hmm.
don't need to rely on all these other noises. because if it's in your heart, it's there. Just please lean into that. Lean into that. That's
Lean
really what
in,
I
y'all. Take the word from BP. Lean in, okay? No, this interview really blessed me. You gave me some takeaways that I'm going to be like, okay, Mia, are you being bold and you know what I mean? Like reaching out for what you want, producing yourself, and believe it in yourself when nobody else believes in you. So thank you.
yeah.
All
Thank
right,
you
y'all.
so
Make sure y'all stay tuned. We are here weekly, youtube.com/ at Mia Hall TV, Mia Hall TV on all other platforms. And we'll see you next time. Keep growing and keep glowing. Peace.
much. Bye.